What is up, you guys? I am back in Costa Rica and I just got back from surfing. I'm going to show you guys what I eat in a day. I'm about to eat my breakfast. I'm going to walk you through all of it. Before I went surfing this morning, I got up at like 5:45 here in Costa Rica, did a little bit of movement. We're going to show you guys another video with that. And I ate a little bit of food before I went surfing just to kind of give my body that signal of abundance. So I broke my fast early. I actually don't like fasting throughout the morning. I want to break my fast. I had a little bit of honey and a couple of coconuts, and then I went surfing. And now we're ready to eat breakfast, which is probably the biggest meal of the day. I like getting in my protein early in the day. I think there's a real clear evidence for getting a lot of protein in the morning for an anabolic stimulation, for muscle growth. I really enjoy local fruit in Costa Rica. This is all local fruit. These are coconuts that I like to drink the water from. I've got some organic bananas, an organic papaya, and this is a fruit. It's kind of like a lychee grown here. So this is gonna be my breakfast. I'm not gonna eat all this fruit right now, but I'm gonna eat maybe one banana, a couple of these lychees, half or a quarter of this papaya, and then I'm gonna have some honey with the food as well. Then I've got the meat, which is the main course. This is what animal base is all about. The most nutrient-rich foods, meat, organs, and the least toxic plant foods, which are fruit. So in terms of the animal foods, I'm always gonna be thinking about organs. I've got some heart. This is all grass-fed, grass-finished. There's an amazing farm here in Costa Rica that I get this from. I've got a little bit of liver, about half an ounce of liver, which is gonna go down this morning. That's raw liver. I'm gonna grill this heart. And then here, I've started to thaw out some testicles. I love eating testicle. I think it's really a powerful organ. If you don't have these organs, if you don't have fresh organs, I or you can get desiccated organs. That's why we do what we do at Heart and Soil. I've got my collection here to show you guys. Whole package is the one with the testicle. I take that a lot. You can see the whole lineup there. You guys are familiar with what we do at Heart and Soil. In terms of the meat, I'm gonna eat about a little more than a pound of meat this morning. You guys have probably heard me talk about this. I like to get a gram of protein per pound of body weight at least a day. Right now, I've been feeling really good with a little more than 2 pounds of meat per day. I weigh about 170 pounds, 165, so I'm definitely getting 1.1, 1.2, sometimes even 1.3 grams of protein per pound of body weight every day. And then I think that the biggest question that I always get is fruit and honey with your meals. Do you eat the fruit and the honey with your meals? And the answer is yes. I don't really worry about food combining. When we were out hunting with the Hadza, they had a fresh kill. And while half of the tribe was hunting more for baboons at the time, another few of the Hadza hunters went with us and we found a hive and we ate honey. And then we were a few minutes later cooking baboon on fire and eating the organs and sharing it with the tribe, with the Hadza. If you feel like you have a massive problem combining fruit or honey with meat, maybe there are things to eat separately, but for me, this doesn't bother me. I don't worry about this at all. And then people say, what do you do with the honey? How do you eat the honey? There's a lot of ways to eat honey. Sometimes I just take it and I eat it by the spoonful. Sometimes I'll even put it on the steak. So that's probably what I'll do today. I'll show you guys how I'm gonna put honey on the steak, make honey steak. It's amazing. If I'm making burgers, I'll put honey on the burgers. And that's how it goes. The other question I get a lot of the time is how many carbohydrates are you eating per day? So the honey and the fruit, I think if I'm ballparking it, I'm getting close to 150 or 200 grams of carbohydrates right now. I feel really good with this. I do not count my macros, guys. I don't count my calories, I don't count my macros. I eat the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet. I eat organs, either fresh or desiccated. I eat well-raised meat, grass-fed, grass-finished meat, and I eat locally produced organic fruit as much as I can. I get out in the sun, I surf, and I don't worry about calories, I don't worry about macros, I eat the satiety. What I do with the steak is I just take this Maldon salt, put some salt on the steak. I like this sea salt. It's kind of a rough sea salt. The chefs out there would probably say that's a finishing salt. I'm probably using it wrong, but I don't care. You might notice that I'm very simple with my spices. I'm only gonna use salt. Do not use pepper. Do not use pepper. I am not a fan of pepper at all. Pepper is a seed. Remember that in the way that I conceptualize things from an animal-based diet, you have to think about which parts of plants are the most toxic. And for me, it's pretty clear that plant seeds are quite toxic for humans. Plants put all kinds of defense chemicals in their seeds to dissuade us from eating them. us and other animals. They put digestive enzyme inhibitors. They put enzymatic inhibitors. Pepper contains a compound called piperine, which inhibits detoxification enzymes in the liver. If you want the full name, it's UDP glucuronosyl transferase. So pepper contains a compound called piperine that's going to inhibit your phase 2 detoxification in the liver. This is why compounds like curcumin, which your body is actually trying to get rid of, end up in much higher amounts, 2,000 plus times amounts in your body when you eat pepper. You don't want lots of curcumin in your body. Your body's smart enough to say, hey, this is not a compound I want. If you have more questions about why I'm not a fan of turmeric and curcumin, that's for a separate video. But there are no spices on this table other than salt. All right, let's go cook some steaks. Grill is hot. On go the steaks. I'm gonna throw on a little heart as well. Get that some sear. We'll be good to go. When I was with the Hadza in Tanzania, they cook everything on a fire. So they don't worry about charring the meat, obviously, but they don't worry about cooking on fires. I've done a lot of videos in the past about meat and cancer. I think that the way that I'm cooking the steak on the grill, I'm not worried about this at all. I think cooking over a fire, cooking over a flame, is totally evolutionarily consistent and wouldn't worry about this. All right, so steaks are cooked. Got a pretty good sear on them. I might have overcooked them a little bit, but still gonna be delicious. I'm gonna show you guys one of the ways that I do honey. This is a raw local honey here in Costa Rica. Though this may seem sacrilegious, I freaking love just taking the honey, putting it right on the steak. Don't knock it till you try it, you guys. All right, guys, so I'm sitting down to my meal. I showed you how I like to put honey on the steak. Got the heart here, got the lychee, banana, some of the papaya, a little coconut water, honey, maybe a little extra honey, and this is how I do it. You guys have seen how I eat in the morning after a beautiful morning of surfing, being in the jungle, being in the earth, my version of the remembering in Costa Rica. The last thing I'll say is a lot of times when I show people that I eat some fruit, that I eat some honey on my steak, they get worried about blood sugars and glycemic indices. And I'm gonna do a whole podcast. I have a whole podcast. I have 2 podcasts actually about my results of my continuous glucose monitors. This is what I'll say. I don't worry about my glucose levels. I do not believe there's an absolute glucose level that you don't want to cross. What I look at is my fasting insulin, which is less than 3, my C-peptide, which is less than 0.5, my HSCRP, which is less than 0.3, right? So I know that I'm extremely insulin sensitive despite eating carbohydrates. Fructose in the food matrix does not cause insulin resistance. I'll repeat that. Fructose in the food matrix does not cause insulin resistance. It is not bad for you. This is a completely evolutionarily consistent meal. These foods are all sourced locally. This is honey from Costa Rica, papaya that grows on the tree right over there. This is meat, banana. All these foods occur in Costa Rica, occur at this latitude. This is not evolutionarily consistent. This is not contributing to any degree of metabolic dysfunction at all. What does contribute to metabolic dysfunction? That's a subject of a separate video. That's amazing thunder, you guys. It's Costa Rica. This is the remembering. But the main issues are sugars removed from the food matrix and seed oils. So I'm gonna wear a continuous glucose monitor in the future. We'll do a separate video of that. But what I've seen in the past when I eat a similar amount of carbohydrates to this is the blood sugar goes up, maybe to 140, maybe to 150, maybe to 160. I'm not worried about the absolute high. It comes immediately back down. The area under the curve is very small and the insulin sensitivity remains quite exquisite. So don't fear fruit, don't fear honey. Don't fear these things in the food matrix. And all too often in the nutritional community, these concepts are conflated. Concepts, studies, experiments that are done with food that is stripped away from the food matrix is conflated with food that is complete in the matrix that might have sugars or carbohydrates in it. This is how we thrive. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I want to give my body a signal of abundance. This is abundance. Carbohydrates, meat, organs, nutrients. These are abundance. That's what you want. That's how you thrive. That's how you reclaim your birthright to radical health. All right, guys, enough of this video. I'm gonna get after this.